respected speakers of the day, dear students and faculty coordinators. A warm welcome to this event. And this is the most important event of the today's summit because you guys are getting a chance to directly interact with experts in this field, in the field you study. So without much delay, I'm getting into the duty of welcoming our respected speakers. Mr. Prakash Kalarikal, Dr. Prakash Kalarikal, our first speaker. He's the Vice President, Sexing Technologies, ST Genetics USA, responsible for business development in Asia, Middle East and Africa, based in UK. Dr. Prakash has over 36 years of experience in various leadership, managerial, commercial, and technical roles in different dairy-related industries such as sexing technology, reproduction, veterinary diagnostics, milking systems, dairy farm management, and veterinary practice. Graduated from College of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Kerala, Masters in Veterinary Public Health from Glasgow Veterinary School, UK, MBA from Birmingham Business School, UK, and attended the Authentic Leadership Management Program at Harvard Business School, USA. Welcome, sir. And our second speaker, Mr. Shashi Kumar, the founder and CEO of Akshayakalpa Organic. Mr. Shashi Kumar pursued his bachelor's degree in computer science and subsequently landed a job at Wipro Technologies. Furthermore, he completed his master's degree in telecommunication engineering from the Illinois University of Technology, Chicago. Along with noted veterinarian and social entrepreneur Dr. G.N.S. Reddy and the financial support of 27 professional colleagues, Mr. Shashi Kumar started Akshayakalpa Organic in 2010. Akshayakalpa has grown to become India's largest certified organic milk company, serving fresh and nutritious organic milk to more than 60,000 households daily in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. Welcome, sir. And dear students, welcome to this session. Hope you will be getting some grateful insights from this interactive session with our speakers. Thank you.
Hello, okay. I like to be on the ground. So I will go through, by the way, welcome to all the students. I would like to go through a little bit details about my career path because it's all mostly about your opportunities in the future, right? So I was graduated from Kerala Veterinary College. I was a 1980 batch student. Okay, so we used to be proud of ourselves saying that we were Silver Jubilee batch. Okay, I did my Masters in Veterinary Public Health from Glasgow Veterinary School, an MBA from Birmingham Business School, and Authentic Leadership from Harvard Business School. You already mentioned. I've gone through so many training. I'm not going to read it. In technical, managerial, marketing, all those things, in addition to other degrees. I worked 7 years in Kerala Veterinary College, Kerala Government Service as a veterinarian, and I would also like to mention one thing about innovation because Krishna Ella mentioned about innovations today. When I was working in Malappuram, I had a calf with a broken leg. And it had to be amputated, which I did myself. And then I created an artificial leg. And that was published from British Veterinary Record. Immediately, within 2 weeks, they accepted it. And then there is something called ICI, International Something Reference. They referenced it. So whenever you look for any artificial leg, my paper comes first. It's not a big paper, it's only a publication. Okay. I did something else when I was working in Manalur. There were lots of farmers raising ducks, right? and small farmers who have chicken and ducks. So they cannot, and there is no electricity sometimes, there is no other things, and the ducks does not brood, so they have to use an incubator or chicken. So I created a dual energy mini incubator, meaning it's small like TV size. I made it exactly like a TV with a glass in front. And then it can be run by electricity or kerosene. So when the electricity goes or no electricity, you can turn on the kerosene. So that was not commercialized. That's the time I left India. So anyway, I worked in a farm in Yemen, in a 1,000 cow farm. I joined there as a project veterinarian. And then I got promoted as a herd manager, then as a farm manager. So at some point, I was managing, doing the veterinary work, everything by myself, one person. Of course, we have other people, but I was the only qualified person to do that. Then I moved to a company in Egypt. They had 1,000 cows, 1,500 buffaloes, 5,000 fattening animals, and a feed mill of 200 metric ton. And I was the general manager for the whole project. We had around 8,000 animals and around 100 employees. And I realized it is easy to manage 7,000 animals rather than 100 employees. So that. Then I moved into a different industry, went into marketing. I joined as a marketing manager and moved to Jordan. And I was in charge of all the Middle East and some of the European countries and Africa as well. There I was designing, creating milking parlors and all this kind of stuff. So I had that experience. I was one of the, I led one of the largest farms in the world, which is Al Safi in Saudi Arabia. I led one of their units, which is 6,000 cows, milking parlor and everything. What else? Then I moved to a different business, which is genetics. So that is called ABS Global. That's a US company, and I was based in the UK, and I was a international marketing director. So I was selling semen and all this kind of stuff. Then I moved to another company, which is Alta Genetics, which is again one of the leading companies in the world, and that company is originally from Canada, but there was also Dutch owners. So I was a senior director for international sales for 5 years. So that time I was in charge of their business all over the world except the Americas, meaning Canada, USA, and South America. So I was in charge of all other countries in the world. Then I moved to a totally different industry, which is diagnostics, which is IDEX Laboratories. I don't know if you heard about it. IDEX is one of the largest diagnostic company, and they had a new product at that time, which is called pregnancy diagnosis kit. Have you heard about that? It is based on PAG, pregnancy associated glycoprotein, and which can diagnose a cow pregnant, if she is pregnant or not, within 28 days after insemination, with a 99.5% accuracy. So that I launched the project globally. I was in charge of the whole world. So I was traveling from Chile to Japan, New Zealand to Iceland, all these places. But then it was almost 2 years with that company. We'll come to that in the end. I didn't have the passion. So my passion was the genetics and breeding and all this kind of stuff. So I left the company. And I came back to a genetics company again as the vice president, Sexing Technologies, USA. Okay? So that's my short journey of almost 37 years. So Sexing Technology is a core company. That is our main company. We started in around 2004. What we do is, I will go through detail later. What we do is produce sex-sorted semen from bovines and many other species. And then we also have the license of the technology, which 100% patented, so nobody can copy. So we provide service to most of the companies in the world. We are in India as well. We provide, I will go to detail a little bit later. Then we also have around 1,000 bulls in the US, superior top bulls. Then we have branches all over the world. Genetic Visions is a genomic testing company. Okay. Then the other Okay. Then the other one is a pig breeding company, AccuFast. Okay. So we do many things. It's not just exporting. We do genetic visions. I think I should be standing here. It's okay because I cannot see myself. No, you're okay there. Good. So we do all different things. I will go through that briefly. So ST Genetics is the leading genetics company in the world. We have 3 bull stations in the US, over 1,000 top ranking bulls. We market over 500 bulls any time. And we own almost 50% of the top ranking bulls in the industry. We sell semen all over the world. And we also sell lots of embryos. So this is, I'm not sure you are familiar with these kind of things. These are some of the top bulls in the world owned by us. He's a top TPI and net merit bull. So captain is a top proven bull. So all different bulls. Okay. So this is how a bull proof look like. So you have almost every information about the bull. You have how much milk it produces, what is the liability, who is the father, mother, maternal grandsire, maternal dam. So all informations about the bull. So what sexing technology is, we provide service to almost all the companies. These are semen companies in the world. This is a lab in the US. So we provide the service to all of them. We have 10 labs in the US, 38 labs in other countries, and we have 3 labs in India and 2 mobile labs in India as well. So we are in India since 4 years. Then we produce almost 200 million doses worldwide and produce 3 million in India. So this is a lab in the US. This can produce 50,000 doses of sex-sorted semen per day. This is the world's largest sex sorting laboratory. This is a lab in Bhopal in India. This is how the lab look like. These are all Indian trained people, all biotechnologists. This is another lab in India. This is in Rishikesh. And we do sex sorting of all different breeds. All Indian breeds, sheep and goat, crossbreeds, horses, pigs, and we also do wild animals. So this is a challenge we all face today. We will have 2.1 billion more people by 2050 to feed. So food production is extremely crucial. And then the arable land availability has reduced by 50% since 1960. So we have more people to eat, we have less land to produce. So we have a great challenge coming up in the future. And then, therefore, we must double the food production by 2050. So that's a big challenge. And then cows contribute 14.5% to the greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, greenhouse gas emissions. So, this is the real scenario of US. From 2007 to 17, the milk production per cow increased by 4,500 pounds, which is around 2,000 kilos. In 10 years, the productivity of individual cows increased by 2,000 kilos. The average productivity in India itself is less than 2,000. So that is something amazing. And that is from what? That means we use 17% less feed. We 20%, 21% less land. So, and then we use 30% less water and 20% less fuel. This is all because of genetic improvement of the cows. So that is what I'm coming at. And then the carbon footprint also reduced by almost 19% in 10 years. Okay. So this is what happened in the US. In 1940, blue line is the milk production. The average milk production of a cow was only 5,000 pounds. This is in pounds, okay? 6,000, maybe 5.5 thousand pounds. And we had, in 1940, around 25 million cows. So 25 million cows produce 5,000 pounds each milk. And then now, 2020, the milk production has gone up to 25,000 pounds, which is around 12,000 kilos or 11,500 kilos on an average. At the same time, look, the cow number came to almost 9 million. So we, in the future, by 2050, cow could produce, I'll read the kilos, 46 to 97 kilos per day. That is a prediction. And most predictions say on an average, a cow will produce 72 kilos per day. So this is a real statistics of US taken from the US Cattle Genetics website. So there is the average milk production 23,896 pounds, which is again the same as I told you before, 9.45 million cows only. That came down from 25 million. And then average herd size is 230, and then 4.1 million cows are on official data recording. 6 million animals are being genotyped in the database. And around 1 million animals are genotyped per year, and 71% of the semen used are from genomic tested bulls. I'll tell you what that means in a bit. So there are two major innovations took place in the US, in the world, back in 2005, that period of time. One was, they came at the same time, 2005. So first was sexing technology, sex order of semen, and the second one was genomic testing. So what does that do? Genomic testing meaning you can take a sample, tissue sample of a cow or an animal, cow or a bull, and you can sequence them and evaluate them, and then you can predict the productivity of the progeny with so many different traits. And then what does that do? Why the 25 million came to 5 million at the same time milk production went 4 times higher? That is because genomic testing allowed us to find the best animals in a larger population. Progeny testing takes a long time. You probably know that. 5 to 6 years. So genomic testing, you can do genomic testing even before an animal is born. We can do a genomic test on the embryos. So before you put an embryo in a cow, you already know what you're going to get. And then you find all the good animals from the larger population, so you got the best animals, okay? And then you go traditionally and use conversion semen. What would happen? So you found the best bull in the world or somewhere, and then you use a pregnancy, and you get 50% males. So that is a waste, because that superior genetics is wasted through male calf, because male doesn't produce milk. They don't have the gene to produce milk. So then the technology, we use sex sorting of semen. So then we use sex sorted semen from those animals. So that will produce 90+% females. So you have 40% females extra. So the genetics is not wasted through males. So you identify the best and multiply them. There is one more, so genetic progress becomes faster. And then when you identify genomically, so normally in our world, India is slightly different. When you do a progeny testing, we do not use the bull until it is proven after 5 years. So we know the bull, but we still want to know the performance of the progeny. That is called progeny testing, right? Until we know it is a good bull, we will not use them. But genomic testing, you can use the semen when the bull can produce semen, which is 1 year or 12 months or 14 months. So instead of waiting 5 years, 6 years, you start using 1 year later, meaning you are also advancing genetic progress. So in order to get a good cow, instead of waiting 7 years, you wait only 4 years or 3 years. So advancing and multiplying. So that was a revolution took place in the industry, and that is why that huge growth came from. Okay. Now, this is going to be a third revolution. We found a gene. Because I told you we have a genomic testing company. So we found a gene that is responsible for feed efficiency. Meaning, so those animals or the cows born out of feed efficiency positive bull will consume 15% less feed, consume 21% less water, reduce 15% less methane. So there is a lot of feed saving. There is so many things happening, and this is going to be a new innovation in revolution in the dairy industry. And we have our own patented technology. So I would like to change your attention to a different area. So what is sustainable dairy farming? Sustainable is the most misused word. Everybody says sustainable without knowing what it is in perspective. So what is a sustainable dairy farming? There are 4 major elements: animal welfare, environmental impact, social responsibility, and farm profitability. Okay? So I will explain a little bit more. So what is animal welfare? See, there is something you have to think about in business, in life, or whatever you do. You need to measure to manage. If you can't measure, you cannot manage. You cannot manage, you cannot control. So everything needs to be measured. So how do you measure animal welfare? You cannot ask the cow, are you okay, are you happy? No, you cannot do that. So there are 5 freedoms for animals. So that is freedom from thirst, hunger, and malnutrition, freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain and injury, freedom to express normal behavior. That you will be doing that, all those things. Freedom from fear and distress. So if all these parameters are met, you can assume the animal welfare is met. This you can measure, for sure. So now, impact on environment. So people, and you will be doing that as well. So that is the organic farming comes. So you have to take care of the soil. You have to do the water quality management. You have to look at the emissions. You have waste disposal, manure treatment and management, conservation of flora, fauna. Why this is important? Because let's take a simple example in Kerala. Every time you hear there is a pig farm under threat of closing, because somebody they dump everything, they don't have smell, and there are houses around. It will not be sustainable for a long time. They can only sustain for a short time. Someday you have to close. I heard a news a few months ago, a dairy farm is getting trouble because they have a farm, they expanded, they didn't do anything. So all the smell, manure goes to neighbor's farm. You might like the manure because you want the organic manure, but it goes the wrong place. So that is, it will not be sustainable. So you have to think about all of those. Social responsibility. Business ethics. So how can you sell a polluted milk with a formaldehyde or something, whatever you put in the milk, to sell somebody? Will you drink that yourself? No. Then how can you sell it to somebody? That is empathy, that is ethics. You need to always think about, if I cannot do it, I cannot give it to somebody. That's how you need to think about it. So, I mean, if you do that, you will not sustain forever. Somebody will catch you and you have to close down the project. So that is why it is important. And finally comes farm profitability. So that comes from the genetics of the cow comfort, that's another big topic. Management nutrition, you have to look at the health, climatic conditions, and land environment. So you need to have the land, you need to have the right shed. Suppose you have let me give you an example. You have very hot climate, let's say Saudi Arabia, or Kerala, or India, wherever. So you need to have an ideal shed, ideal kind of housing for the animals, compared to what we have in the US or UK. So when it's a cold, snow weather, they have a different housing. So if you put the cow in that climate, they will not sustain. They will not survive. So you need to think about those as well. So now you go a little bit detail on farm profitability. So there are 3 elements again: management, environment, and genetics. So what is genetics meaning? So if you have good genetics, for example, you have good cows, and then you don't give proper nutrition, you manage them, you don't manage them well, you don't use the right automation, You don't use the feeding system depending on the size of the farm. You don't give a balanced ration. So genetics will not do anything. So genetics will not be expressed until you get the right environment and management nutrition altogether. That is crucial. Then you think about the environment, that is farm design, climatic conditions, soil, waste disposal. You throw your syringe to neighbors and your plastic to everyone. That's going to help you. And then finally, the cow, the good cows, that suits your breeding goals. So what is that breeding goal meaning? So let me take a European perspective. Suppose I have a dairy factory producing cheese and butter and solid products. We call it solid and liquid. So if I'm into that business, then I will choose the cows which has higher solid content, meaning high fat percentage, high protein. But I'm in a market where milk is sold liquid mainly. Fat is not very important. Then I go for high milk producing animals with less fat because they don't go together well. So the fat goes up, volume goes down. So you need to select that. Sometimes people go for, in India there is a trend somewhere, A2 milk. You heard about that, right? It is a protein with a one difference in one molecule, something. So people look for that. So you need to choose those animals who has A2. So those are the breeding goals. And then you need to use semen from superior bulls. So otherwise you don't get the next generation better. So then you also need to think about a replacement program. If you have 50 cow farm or 100 cow farm, for many reasons you may cull around 20 to 25%. Because less production, diseases, lameness, reproductive issues, whatever reason you may lose 20 to 25% animals every year. So you need to also think about replacement. So why I say that? Because you can always go and buy a cow from outside. Not easy. Okay, then it costs you money. You don't know what you get. Not only the cows, you also get lots of diseases. So if you breed within your farm, you know what you get. So you have the power of the knowledge. Okay. So what is genetics? So genetics is the genes you got from your parents. For the cows, from their parents. Okay. Let's call it a G. And the environment, that is what it helps the genes to express. And phenotype. Phenotype is like something you can see, whether it's the hair color, whether it's milk, whatever that is phenotype. So where is that phenotype coming from? Phenotype is the sum of genotype plus environment. So have you heard about heritability? Yeah, so that is the relative importance of genes to the total phenotype, total output. So let's say the total milk is 20 kilos per cow per day. I'm just giving a simple example. So how much of the 20 is represented by genetics and how much is represented by the environment? And each trait has a different heritability. It's not 100%. No, you don't get 100%. So milk has a, have another slide. So these are the heritability of different traits. Milk has only 30%. So the 70% of the milk production coming from environmental and management practices. So if you don't give the right food, right management, right housing, all of this, the genetics will not be expressed. That will be wasted. Okay. So you can see all different traits. Fat is higher. So what also that means, a trait with a higher heritability will be transmitted faster. So therefore you need to choose what you want. If you just go for fertility, it has only 3%. So you miss the other traits. So you need to prioritize what kind of breeding goal you have in mind. That is how you select the animals. So how the progress? This is very simple basics. You know this. So you have a cow, and you use the sire A. So you get 50% from this animal, sire A, and 50% from the cow, original cow. Then you use another bull, preferably always superior bull, even better bull, otherwise it will go back. And then you get 50% from the bull, this bull, and this one. Use this, and then you get 75%, 50% sire B, 25 sire A, that total 75, and 25% from the cow. So the cow already lost 75% of her genetics. And then third generation, you get 50 from the bull, third bull, 25 from this one, 12.5 from this one, and cow is only 12.5%. So in 3 generations, you almost made let's assume it is a local cow. Just make an example. Assume this is a local cow, and this is a Holstein bull. So in 3 generations, you have converted this cow into 87.5% pure animal. That is how you breed to improve the genetics. So how to speed up the genetic progress? Set your breeding goals, whether you want milk, solids, A2A2, longevity, fertility, body size, or you want to go crossbreeding. And traditionally, very little improvement, genetic improvement takes place from the cows because you cannot select or you cannot cull too many cows because of replacement issues and so. So most of the improvement comes from the bulls. So that is why all these cement companies, including the cement organization in Kerala, KLDB, or other organization, always look for better bulls because you can produce lots of cement and you can use in thousands of cows. So that is what is going on. And then we need to, therefore you need to look at genomic selection, chromosomal mating, that I will explain to you. And then it has to be from superior bulls. Then use sex-sorted semen, because I told you, you multiply that by 40% more females, okay? So people say, what is breeding? People say breeding is inseminating a cow. That's not breeding. Breeding is selection of superior bulls and to produce the next generation. That is the scientific way of just not insemination. Insemination is a process, how you do it. But the goal is, the meaning is different. So superior animals are usually found by milk production, phenotypic traits, body traits, health management skills, so many different traits. This is how you identify if a cow is good or bad, or bull is good or bad. And genomic information increases reliability. So what I want to say here, so this is a cow, and these are some of the body traits of the animal. Again, this is one of the daughters of our own bull, okay? Is a cow called Delicious. Her name is Delicious, and her father is called Delta. And she produced 220 pounds of milk per day, which is 100 kilos, okay? But you don't look like that. So these are all some of the traits we measure. So the udder attachment, teeth length, udder height. So what it means is if the good attachment, udder is well attached, after second or third lactation, the udder doesn't fall down. So it will be well connected to the body. So she has less chance to get mastitis and stuff like that. But also she can have a larger capacity because the udder is holding properly. And then here, for example, the udder height. If the udder height is higher, that means she has more tissue, more mammary cell, lactating cells. So she can produce more milk. So the capacity increases. So everything has a meaning. The rump ankle, this one. So sometimes, most of the cows you see here, the rump ankle is almost sloppy. Sloppy is not good. Too up is also not good, which all has problems. So how do we know about this cow? So the same cow here, the middle. So you can get information of this animal from her dam. So we can say the dam produced so many liters of milk, so there is a chance she produced so much amount of milk. That's a normal way of thinking. And then you can also look at the sire, how much the sire's daughter's production or genomic information of the sire. Then you can look at other family members. So she has so many sisters and cousins around, so I know this cow, so this cow's daughter will be good, can be good. So you look at all information around available on production if it's a cow. If you're buying a cow, you can go and milk the cow and find out how much she's producing. And then you can also look at the daughters of the cow. So the cow's daughter produced so much milk, so maybe she is good. So that information, all what you see, all what you saw there, this accounts to only 30-35%. So that is heritability, I told you. On an average, it is around 35%. So all this information together, you can only say, I have 35% chance to get the mother's production or sister's production. Then came the genomic testing back in 2005. So what genomic testing does, this is the life cycle of a bull. So this is the age in years. So starting is a young sire. So like I said, we don't use semen. We just collect 3,000 doses and test it, and then we keep the bull. So that is called a sire in waiting. And then 4 or 5 years. So this is the reliability I told you. Reliability meaning what is the percentage of chance to get what you expect. That is reliability, okay? So higher reliability meaning you have more chances. Information is more reliable. So in 5 years, 4 years, he has 100 daughters, then a proven bull, so the reliability goes up. So this takes 4 to 5 years. So until then, we don't use the semen. And then you have more daughters, more than 1,000 daughters, reliability goes to 99%. But now, with genomic information, you immediately add another 35-40% reliability. So today, with the genomic information, I know these daughters of this bull have 75-80% reliability to get the trait what I'm looking for. So genomic testing adds reliability. So then you can use the semen from the bull when 1 year old. Otherwise, you wait 5 years. Okay? So this is what happened. This is a trait. It's very difficult to explain to you, but this is a trait called net merit. In America, we use a net merit meaning that many dollars. The daughters of the bull produce so many dollars above the average of the population. Okay, so the average is $500. Then in early 2000, before the genomic era, the annual gain was only $14.75 per bull, one trait. Genomic testing came, we started getting more and more good animal from the field by genomic testing. So almost the annual gain, almost tripled. And then by around 2019, you see the improvement. This is because these animals were there somewhere. We didn't know. So because of genomic testing, we could find them. And you breed them. So that made the improvement. So drastic improvement. So this is, again, from the same website. So we have 52 traits calculated on genomic testing. We can analyze, we can predict 52 different traits. It's not just milk, fat, and protein. There's so many different traits. And then it started in 2009 officially. Since 2009, and 6 million animals are already on the system, and 92% of the animals are, genotyped animals are females. You know why there is a trend now in America? Because of the use of genomic testing and availability of sex-sorted semen. So they produce plenty of replacement females. Okay. So now I go to the breeding goal, which I told you before. Suppose somebody has a breeding goal. So some of the farms in the US, they do the genomic testing on all the heifers born within a week. Why they do it? They know their daughters are good, but they do that to eliminate those do not match their breeding goal. They don't want the unwanted ones. What is the problem with that? If you raise an animal which is you wanted 5% fat, and you don't know that, I'm giving an example, and you think she will give 5% fat, and you wait year and a half to breed her and another 9 months to deliver, and then you realize, oh, she's only 3.5% fat. So you wasted 5 years of feeding, management, everything, space, everything. So that is why to eliminate, there is all different ways you can do that, the information, either to select or to eliminate. Okay, so where to invest then? We talked about genetics and management. So where should a farmer invest money? Genetics is the most profitable investment for a dairyman. And the US genetics, it costs only 2 to 3% of your cost. And people buy semen also, oh, that is too expensive. In Kerala, it's not the case. But so in our world, in the Western world, farmers still say, oh, no, that is too expensive. But that is only 2 to 3% of the total cost in a farm, whereas it gives 30% impact on performance, because 30% is genetic investment, I told you before. So that has a huge impact. And $1 invested in the US proven bulls is equal to $20 in return on investment. So where do we invest? So see, genetic improvement is permanent. Okay, so if once you inseminate, once you make a investment in genetics, that will be transferred to all generations. So it's a permanent investment. There is also a challenge. If you use a poor genetics, that also get transferred. So you have to be very careful before inseminating a cow, just not a breeding, because you are veterinarians. Your job is just to inseminate, probably. But the farmers doesn't know these things. So you have to make sure the farmer uses the right semen, right genetics, so that you get an improvement. So your social commitment is not just to do the mechanical veterinary work. You also have to have that commitment to the society and the farmers. Okay, done? Okay, so the management investments are temporary, meaning, so suppose you invest in a feeding equipment or an automated milking parlor. These are all management investment. But you need to have a continuous maintenance, otherwise it will break down. So, but we need both. We need good genetics and good management and good environment to get the result. Okay. So this is something. So now you have a good quality semen. You selected the bulls using genomic testing, and then you have sex sorted semen. So you guarantee you get more than 90% females. But then you have to make sure which semen you use on which cow. So if you use on a wrong cow, then you get another problem. I will give a simple example, as I told, the rump angle. So your cow has a very slopey rump angle. And in that case, if you use a bull also with a slopey rump, then it get worse. So you have to do the opposite way. So that's the simplest example I can tell you. So what we do, we have a mating recommendation. It's like a marriage matching, it's like a matching thing, but it's more advanced. So traditionally, it was called a phenotypic mating, linear scoring. Typical example is what I told you. So you look at the animal and then find out her negatives and use a bull which can fix it. That will not change anything on that particular cow, but that will only changes in the progeny. You understand that, right? And then this was probably 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I'm in this industry 20 years. So even my time, I was doing that, okay, olden times. And then is a pedigree mating. So pedigree mating is like you find the pedigree of an animal, of a cow, You need to know the sire, dam, maternal grandsire, great 3-4 generations, okay? That is on the cow side. And then the bull side, we have the pedigree as well. So in America, we have pedigree, we have almost 17 generations pedigree of an animal. We know up to 17 generations about who is the father, mother, grandmother, grandfather. We know all the information. So we have more information about cows than people in America because we are not allowed to take information of people, privacy. So what that program used to do, still people are using it. So you feed those, let's say you have 100 cows, and then you have selected 5 bulls. And then you feed that information to a system, and the system goes back and check. So the number one thing they check, look for the relatives. Because who is connected, who is a cousin or whatever, sister, whatever relatives, and avoid them. Why? Inbreeding. Inbreeding is a silent thief. So it takes everything negative. It reduces disease resistance, it reduces the fertility, everything is negative, okay? And then first eliminate the inbreeding, not eliminate, reduce, restrict. You can say I need only 4% inbreeding. I can restrict on the program. So normally why is a 4%? The average inbreeding in the US is, on Holstein is around 4.9%, and Jerseys it is around 7%. Why Jersey 7%? The population is small. So you get more relatives connected together. So we can restrict that in breeding. And then it goes into, from the pedigree, the system can imagine how the cow will be, phenotypically. And then you look for the bulls that can fix it. So and then it will give a recommendation, first choice, second choice, third choice bull. So you can use, so you get your result as per your goal. And this is the newest one, since we have the genomic testing company. This is, so I told you you do the genomic testing on heifers, and then if the farmer has that information, we can use the genomic information of the bull as well. So it goes to almost 100%. So it can find out all the negatives, all the problems to be fixed on the new progenies. What we do, this is a new product came up recently. It's called FarmFit. This is a health monitoring system. So it look at the body temperature, and it also has a magnet inside. So it monitors the temperature of the animal right from the calf. I mean, you put it in the calf. So it monitors temperature, and then that converts to give you indications so that you can take some actions. Give you health indication, calving, estrus, and then it also relates to the external temperature, humidity, because the body temperature of an animal will vary according to the external environment, right? So because we are all homeothermic animals, and then it integrates all the other operations of the farm, like milking parlor, cow barn, calf barn, sorting gates, everything. And this is an example of, so this line, the middle green line is the average temperature of the animal, normal. The line below is the lowest temperature, normal. And because it changes all the time, it's not constant, like our temperature as well. So the upper line, the black line, is the upper limit of that particular animal. Now, in this is the time the system is sending information. And the blue graph is the activity. So it also measures the activity of the animal. So what is the activity indication? So there are two ways to look at it. One is when the animal is sick, she will be less active, right? But when the animal is in heat, she will be more active. So you have to relate all those things to the breeding data and everything. And this is an indication of this animal. We started rising the temperature here. It took almost 12 hours. They were watching. And here they gave diagnosis of pneumonia, gave a shot of this medicine, single dose, and then it came down, another shot, came up a little bit, another shot. Then by this time, animal is cured. So if earlier detection, so that you can prevent from serious consequences. So now come to the main story, the sex sorting. So, you know, there are two types of sperms, X chromosome bearing sperms and Y chromosome bearing sperms. And as you know, X is female and Y is male. So if you look at the morphology or electrical charges or swimming speed or anything of those two sperms, they are identical. The difference is almost insignificant. So people have always tried gender selection for many reasons. So, but nobody could do anything with the gender selection because they were very identical in everything. So, the only difference is the X chromosome bearing sperms are larger than the Y. And how much is the difference? It is around 4% in bovines. Ovines is 4.1%, monkeys 4.2, horses 4, and human is 2.8. So whenever there is a difference, then we can identify them and separate them. So this is, hopefully it will work. No. Yeah, that was an animated video, it did not work. I'm sorry. So what we do in this technology, so when we get the raw ejaculate from a bull, we treat them with a media, and that removes the dead and dying sperms. So in a normal ejaculate, which is acceptable for semen production, it will have around, should have 70% motility, okay? So what does that mean? You also have 30% dead sperms in a normal ejaculate. So, and then there will be around 10 to 15% head abnormality and then same tail abnormalities. So let's say 10 plus 10, 20 plus 30, 50%. So 50% of the sperms are not good from a raw ejaculate, although it qualifies. So we have a very specialized media, we remove those. So why we remove this? Because the dead sperms and dead cells produce toxins, hydrogen peroxide and so many other toxins here. And that toxin will kill the live sperms. So we remove it from the beginning, and then we protect each sperm in a sheath. We call it a fluid sheath. So each sperm will be like here. You see here, these are each sperm protected in a capsule because it's going through a process. And then we use a fluorescent light. So the light goes, and then look at the size of the sperms, X and Y. So the larger one, which is X, that reflects more light back. That's logical. And small one reflects less. So we know which is X and Y. And then we separate them in the end. So X goes to one tube and Y goes to the other tube, and if there is any unidentified, that goes as a waste. So that is a sex sorting technology in a nutshell. And we control temperature, pH, oxidation reduction. We even nourish the sperms because this sex sorting process takes around 14 hours. So it takes a long time because it has to go one by one. We have to look one by one. So what we do in India, the number of sperms required is 2.1 million. In a sex-sorted semen, we produce 2.2, and then mostly live sperms. The minimum purity meaning how many female sperms in it, X chromosome-bearing sperms. The requirement is 90, we do 93, so more females. Post-motility, minimum requirement is 50, we do 63. So 3 hours incubation motility. You know these terminologies, right? Do you know what is progressive, post-progressive motility? No? So, okay. So what is the posto? When you semen is frozen in minus 196 degrees, right? In a liquid nitrogen. Do you know that? Yes. Okay. So when it's frozen, before you inseminate, you have to thaw it. Why you thaw it? It's not room temperature. You have to incubate it, thaw it to bring it to the body temperature of the animal. Because we are not keeping in the room. Because the uterus temperature is around 37 degrees, 36 to 37 degrees. So you thaw it down to the temperature of the uterus so that sperm will not get a shock. So what do you do before insemination? You take a straw, put it in a in a thaw bath with 37 degrees Celsius. Thaw it for 1 minute, and then you inseminate into a cow. So on the test laboratory, we do a test at that time. What is the progressive motility? Progressive motility is the sperms are moving fast outside. Some sperms are moving circle. They are not progressive motile. So the progressive motility is moving forward. So, and then we do at 3 hours. 0 hour is okay. The minimum is 50%. But ours is very high. So that meaning better quality sperms. Why 3 hour? Because you need to check how long the sperm can survive in the uterus. So the longer, higher the motility after a long time, you get more chances of pregnancy, because the ova is not always ready whenever you inseminate. So then sperm need capacitation, all these things. So the higher the motility, better this quality. And then this is another QC. We look at acrosome integrity. Do you know what is acrosome integrity? So the acrosome is like a cap on the head. If the acrosome is damaged, the sperm cannot pierce the zona pellucida. So the intact acrosome meaning that is have a chance of a higher conception rate. So the requirement is 50%. Our product is 75. So that meaning it is highly high integrity. So this is a sex-sorted semen 3 hours post-motility. You see that it is moving aggressively, and you don't find many dead sperm. There is only one dead sperm once here. So there is almost no dead sperms. And this same sample, this is a microscopic one. Same sample goes on a CASA. Have you heard about CASA? CASA is a computer-assisted semen analysis. Then progressive motility is, this you cannot manipulate. That's why I put both there. 65.8% in 3 hours. So this is how we check the purity. So this is a screenshot of the sorting machine. Okay, so you see here, all these dots are individual sperms. Okay, all the dots are sperms. And then you can see this one is X chromosome bearing sperms, and this is already sorted semen. So you see here the peak. These are the peak, which is 95%, 95.4% females, and then the remaining is male. So this is how we analyze the purity after thawing, before we sell the product to anyone. So we do all the QC check. So, and we also did a trial. This is in the US. So we can say the laboratory purity, we call it laboratory purity, 90%, 93% as you saw. But we need to prove that it is also reflected on the field. It's not just we give on a paper, no. So we did a trial with almost 9,500 doses of semen produced from 6 different bulls. And then we checked the laboratory purity, and then inseminated cows, and we followed up, and we looked at the gender of the calves born. And then the correlation was plus or minus 1%. Meaning, if you have 93% laboratory purity, you have a chance to get 92 or 94% females in the field. Okay? So these, the blue is the laboratory purity, and the pink is the field result. So this is a result from ULDB, Uttarakhand. We have a laboratory there. This is from 4 lakh plus inseminations, and then they checked 250,000, confirmed pregnancy so much, and they have so many calves born. So they have 46.35% conception rate, and then 93.32% females. So that is proven in the laboratory as well as in the field. So what are the benefits of using sex-sorted semen? You get more than 90% females and less males. So you can have more feed available for the productive animals, because you are not feeding the unwanted, unproductive males. And that is more relevant in other states in India. Then high conception rate due to the absence of dead sperms and nourishment of the sperms, you get a high conception rate. biosecurity. So if you're buying a heifer from cow from other farms, you don't know what you get. So if you're growing from within yourself, you can control the biosecurity. You have a little bit more biosecurity there. And then this is an interesting observation. So dystocia, there is less chance for dystocia because, you know, you all know dystocia, right? So when there is a male calf born, there is high chance of dystocia. Yeah. So when there is more male calves are born, there is more chance of dystocia because male calves are big head and they're slightly big, but when females are born, there is easy calving. So because you are using sex semen, sex-sorted semen, you get 90+% females, so you have less chance of dystocia. And then you get genetic progress as well as animal welfare, because when you have dystocia, there is problem with the cows, retained placenta, there is so many things can happen. So, yeah, so let me talk about a little bit about the opportunities. This is probably the one you like to hear for the veterinarians. So you can always choose your traditional practice in clinics and all these things. You can work in farms, you can go to the academic research, commercial industries, there are so many industries, nutrition, pharmaceuticals, veterinary and human, biotechnology, so many vaccine production, animal breeding and genetics, which I am in for the last 20 years. Veterinary public health, this is a very interesting area, food hygiene, epidemiology, because 58% of the human diseases are either directly from animals or through animal origin, maybe food, so many things, hygiene issues. So that's a huge area a veterinarian can play, and nobody recognizes that. Even the medical profession don't recognize that. So the government doesn't recognize that. Why? Because we are not doing enough. We are not showing that you can do this. So if you come up and show them, they will include you in those projects. Then, of course, in policy making, decision-making bodies, animal welfare organizations like FAO, wildlife, then all those, there are so many opportunities. You have to find them. They will never come to you. So this is probably the last part of my presentation. So finally, have you heard about sweet spot? It's not where you go and buy chocolates or cake, no. Okay? The sweet spot, what is a sweet spot? That should be your goal. So you need to have a passion. So how many of you join veterinary? You don't need to tell me, but I'm asking you. I don't need an answer. How many of you really want to do veterinarian? Most of you didn't get medicine, so you become veterinarian, right? There is only a few people maybe really wanted to be a veterinarian. So that doesn't mean you don't have the passion. I was the same. I did not get medicine by 3 marks. That was the time. There was no, entrance exam. Then I went veterinary, but you can create your passion. So you get into something, you can dig in and get the passion. So don't think you have no passion. No, you have to develop passion, okay? Whatever you do. Then competence. Okay, you have fantastic passion, but you need competence. You need to have the knowledge. So passion without knowledge doesn't make any sense, okay? And the last bit, which is very important for you guys to remember, you need to add value to others. In whatever you do, you're a veterinarian, you add value to the farmers, give them advice correctly. You are a dancer, you enjoy the people, make them enjoy. If you cannot do this, the last bit, you have passion and competence, you are not enjoying. You are not in your sweet spot. Okay, that's what you need to find out. Sometimes you need to change industry. You need to change. I told you, I changed diagnostic back to my passionate area. So you need to find out where you really enjoy what you do. So that is the sweet spot. So need to have all of them together. Don't know. Yeah, so that was my last slide. Any questions, comments? Feel free, go on.
So genome sequencing is for a large-scale dairy farmer. it is economical. As you said, only 2% of the cost will be for that. For a marginal farmer, suppose for a breeder or a seller, how the genome sequencing will affect his economy or financially?
My answer is you don't need to do genomic testing, sequencing, because we're talking about genomic sequencing of the cows, right? Yeah, so you don't do in small scale farms because it's not economical. It is not too expensive either, depends on what kind of cows you have. That's number one. Number two, you always have to make sure the bulls are either proven or genomic tested. So that is the information, that is the must do thing. And then you use those bulls on a cow can be beneficial. So it is not done, it is not economical. And secondly, it's not available in India in the first place. So you know what genomic testing works. It's not rocket science. It is a correlation of data, historic data. So we have data. Let me talk about milk production. We have data from millions of animals, and then you find a gene. So let's say this is one chromosome, different level. If you find this one is when this chromosome is at this level, all the cows have produced 10,000 kilos of milk. Then you test a new cow, and then you get the same chromosome, then you predict this will also produce. That's the simple logic of genomic testing. And it's not too expensive either. Any questions? Okay.
Is there a chance of producing an animal is producing its own, producing a sexed semen itself?
From its body? No, because that is biology. Biology was 50-50. So usually it is 51-49, 51 males. I don't think so. Yeah, because then it becomes gene editing and all these things. We don't do that. That is against nature. I don't think so. That's not even people think about it. That's an innovative idea, but it's not going to work. Any other questions? If not, thank you guys. I'm glad to meet you all, my fellow veterinarians. So I wish you all success. Anything you want to reach out to me, you can get the contact details from the organizers, and I'll be more than happy to help you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prakash Kalarikal. Now we have our other speaker, Mr. Shashi Kumar. So let's hear what he has all to say to us.
The presentation is going to put it there? Yeah. Can you present? Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you guys are not sleeping. I started my journey at 11:30 in the night from Bangalore. I took a bus. Okay, morning I came a little bit late. Okay, so I sincerely apologize. Maybe if I was the reason for starting this program by 15 minutes late, okay? I'm extremely sorry. I'm not a veterinarian, so I've been called to talk in an expert panel to veterinary students. Okay, this is a very interesting challenge. Okay, let me say how do I handle it. Okay. So hopefully, I want to make this session more interactive. Yes? No? Okay, good. Okay. I was born in a farming family. My parents are still farmers. At any point of time, we had 10 cows at our home. Now also we have 10 cows at our home. The cows are what actually enabled, okay, my family to survive, give education to me. You can ask, you are a farmer, you are a farmer's son, how come you became an engineer? So I'm an engineer by qualification. So I completed my engineering in 1991. Okay, it's a long way back. Now almost I worked for 30 years in my life. Out of 30 years, 17 years, okay, I was an engineer. Out of 17 years, I stayed in US for 15 years. Okay, in 2010, along with 27 colleagues of mine from Wipro, we decided we will leave our job, go back to villages, change farming. You can ask why. Why did you decide that? Okay. Important is, you should ask me why I became an engineer. Not that I had a great engineer. So what we thought, why people are not taking up farming? What is the problem with farming? How can we change it? That is the story of Akshay Kalpa. Akshay Kalpa is a Sanskrit word, combination of two words. Akshaya means infinite. Kalpa means imaginations. So it born out of that. I co-founded Akshay Kalpa along with my founder, Dr. J.N.S. Reddy is no more. He passed away 15 days back. Okay, it was his idea. Where we wanted to go back to villages and change farming. So you can ask me, what is changing farming entitles? I want to ask a question, okay? What do you mean by changing farming? So I'm assuming I got 45 minutes? 45 minutes? Yeah. So you guys can wait till around 1:45. So I got official permission to be, okay, talking for 1:45. So now you should ask, tell me, before I start this presentation, 4 or 5 of you people should tell me, what does it mean changing farming means? While you are thinking, I just wanted to say a few words on Dr. Prakash. Thank you very much, Doctor. It was a very enlightening presentation. We deal with, okay, all the things Dr. Prakash, okay, says day in, day out. Okay, we do a lot of work on genetics. Akshay Kalpa today is a team of 16 veterinarians. Okay, we picked up all of them from campus. In 12 years, we groomed them to be a dairy, okay, management professionals, not the veterinarians. We assume, Dr. Prakash spoke of responsibility. That's one of the important things. As a veterinary student, your job is not treating the animal. Your job is to ensure animal never gets treated. You should learn managing the dairy animal. That is a fundamental aspect of a veterinarian. Unfortunately, we have forgotten that. We always believe in treatment. Treatment is a post-mortem. You got it? You are treating a cow because she is under stress. She is under some problem. First question is, why she is under a problem? So that's what we should really understand as a veterinarians. Hopefully, this presentation will open up your mind a little bit. This presentation is all about how we can make small changes and bring in changes to dairy farming. So it's very, very important, okay, that we understand this. So this is, just go back to the slide, yeah. This is our farming in India. Every morning, any village, you go there, farmers producing 1 liter, half a liter, quarter liter, 10 liters, standing next to a gutter, pouring in a collection center. This is what our dairy farming is all about. We like it or not, this is India. This is how most of the milk in the country gets produced. This is the problem of our entire farming. We don't know at what cost farmer produced, who produced it, how it was produced, is it profitable or not, is it hygienic, how much antibiotics is there in the milk. Most of them are women, we don't give, okay, weightage to their work. This is exactly what happens in our farming. It's a very unfortunate scenario. This is not a made-up photo. It is just 3 kilometers, okay, from KMF Collection Center, Karnataka Milk Federation Collection Center, in our operational area. So this collection center collects around 120 liters every day. Can you believe? From 35 farmers. 3 liters at an average, each farmer producing. That's exactly what the collection center. Each village has these collection centers. It is true. This is called our cooperative system, where farmer never makes money. We have kept him at that level. Deliberately, in my opinion, we have not tried to change him to be an entrepreneur. What Dr. Prakash was talking is an entrepreneurial journey where we should get into technicalities and make profitable dairy farming. It is not happening in the country, we like it or not. I think we give a lot of wrong data. So we need to move away from that. Akshay Kalpa is one attempt. 12 years, we have proven how a small incremental changes can make big difference in farmer lives. Next, you can just go farmer. Next. See, I just want to give a pictorial journey of what we do. Okay, it is not a, Dr. Prakash gave a technical journey of a genetics. Okay, it's one of the most important aspect in dairy farming. We will give you a pictorial aspect of what we do. Okay, most of the things Dr. Prakash spoke, these are in pictures. You like it or not. Left side is a typical dairy shed in India. Right side is what we do. Left side is how a typical dairy farming is done in India. Right side is what we do. We do have a paddock, we leave cows free, no tethering. Next. Left side is what we feed, water. This is what the water we feed to the dairy animals. Very dirty systems. Right side is what, okay, you are saying the water being fed to animals. If we can't drink that water, animals should not drink that water. 88% of the milk is water. If you don't understand that, if you don't give a cow a good clean water, you will not be able to produce a good quality milk. Animals will have very huge worm loads. If you have very huge worm loads, most of the feed, what you feed, actually getting eaten by worms. And cows get into a lot of stress. Left side is a typical feeding system of India, where agricultural straw, agricultural waste gets fed, and the best part is concentrate feeds we take, probably better source of giving proteins, but we soak that one in water and give it, again complicating the matter for a ruminant. Ruminant doesn't like it. Ruminant, okay, basically capable of digesting cellulose. We need to really put a system in place. Right side is a TMR system. It is a typical Akshay Kalpa farm. It is a handmade TMR. Okay, silage, a green, okay, a little bit of a roughage, some of the concentrate feeds, all of them are mixed in a proportion and fed to a cow, one go in a day. There is no part feeding. In India, if you see, take animal, oh, morning little bit, evening little bit, night little bit we give. That is wrong feeding. And we give water to animal whenever we want. That is wrong. Can I have some drinking water? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So you can see, okay, animal characteristics. Okay, Dr. Prakash spoke of a characteristic animal. We call it as body score. Okay, I think you all know how to score a body of animal. It's a scale of 1 to 10. It's 1 to 5. Okay, just that was a test. Okay, so on a 1 to 5 body score, if you look at that animal, how much you score on the left side? So it is less than 2. Okay, that's how I would score very bad body score. The right side is probably a right animal. So maybe udder conformance is not great, but it's okay. It's a better animal when compared to the left side. You can see the left side is where we are rearing calves. It's a disaster in dairy management. If you don't rear better calves, you don't raise a better animal. These are the small changes, all the photos what you are seeing. This is what we have done in farmer fields. 850 farmers in 12 years. That's what we have done. You think how many million farmers you have worked with? No. What we have done is, we selected 850 farmers in 850 villages. We have taken that farmer to be an entrepreneur. You know what is his monthly payout? 100,000 rupees. That's what we have done in Akshay Kalpa, where changing small things like this, okay? Yeah, thank you. Good, thank you. Changing small things like this results in huge benefit to the farmer. The right side, you can see the calves. No, the way you rear calves is very, very important. Whatever infrastructure he has, calf actually first 3 months needs to get, okay, at a certain proportion, 1/10 of its body weight as milk. But feeding milk is expensive. We need to find milk replacers. We need to find calf starters. We don't do it in India. Unfortunately, the situation is such that first 3 months we hardly feed water. There's a disaster in calf management. So we need to move away from all those things. That's what we have taught farmers. 850 farmers, 850 villages, earning 100,000 rupees every month. That's what we have done. So left side is a typical milking system. This is exactly how we milk in India. Dirty milk, okay, riddled with dung, urine, hair fall. Everything is there in your milk right now. All the milk in the country, 99% of the milk in the country comes like that. Left side you can see there. That's exactly how it is. Very bad practices for the animal, very bad practices for the farmer, very bad quality milk to the consumer. Nobody gets benefited. So this is the system in this one. What we have done in Akshakalpa, we have changed it to a wonderful milking system. It is not expensive. We think milking systems are expensive, they are not. The right side one probably would cost us 25,000 rupees, a single bucket milker. We can easily manage 10 cows very easily. We can milk 10 cows in probably in 1.5 hours. It is possible. Very, very hygienic milk can be collected. You can see there is a system called pre-milking and post-milking. I think you have read everything about that. What you should do before milking, what you should do after milking. We never do anything of those. That results in left side, see the systems. There are no pre-milking protocols. Udder needs to be washed either with a paper or a towel, individual towel. We need to wash the udder before milking. That never happens. Post-milking, we need to treat, okay, with a teat dip so that the infection doesn't happen. That never happens. For that purpose, our testing says that 80% of the animals in Indian farms suffer with subclinical mastitis. Subclinical is it never gets exposed a processing plant. It is a 75 to 90 hours journey. What we have done in our farms is each farmer has a 50 liter, 100 liter, 150 liter, 200 liter, 250 liter chillers. Immediately after milking, they chill their milk. The value addition happens there. That's exactly how the system needs to be built. This is exactly how the Western production systems are modeled. Chilling systems need to be integrated into farming. That's what we have done. So this is a full-fledged farm where you see these are all the cows raised in the same farm, heifers. Okay, left side are the calves. Okay, you can see the calf feeding systems, okay, are standardized. Okay, feed and fodder is available. They are not tied and tethered, open shed. This is the systems actually what we have built. But where the feed for these cows come from? Next slide. Yeah. Akshakalpa last 12 years probably done on a fodder work probably more than best fodder research institutes in the country. Right now, all the fodder which we are feeding to, we have tagged 11,000 cows in a herd management system, most technologically advanced system you can believe. We have tagged them and we track them. So what Dr. Prakash was saying, it's very, very important to tag and track. For them, what we are feeding, okay, we produce it in our farms. So we have integrated perennials, okay, we integrated dicots, monocots, everything in our production system to balance the cow's nutrition. Entire TMR is whatever we are feeding to the cow is produced by the farmer in the farm itself. This is exactly the changes what we have made. What we have done is we have gone and beaten D-Laval in their systems. All the seeds are locally fabricated, okay, parlors. We all fabricated locally. We didn't go to D-Lavals, we didn't go to anything. What is relevant? You can see the steel what is used is not a D-Laval steel. Okay, we have taken a local fabrication, we have fabricated. Local engineering is possible to get a lot of value for the farmer. It is possible. All the farms above 15 cows, they have got a methane gas unit. Cooking, heating, all of it happens through methane gas production. We have standardized it. One of the biggest impact on environment, greenhouse gases is methane. We need to really see how do we catch methane, and handle methane. That's what we do. These are the farms where we have set up. And left side, what you see is the farmer himself. First time in the country. Okay, let me ask. I don't know, okay, how many of you go and buy groceries, okay, in a grocery store? You do buy, isn't it? Who determines the price of a groceries? Do you? Somebody determines for you. A factory determines for you, or an entrepreneur decides for you. For a farmer, who decides the milk price? Who? Farmer? Why? Because we never treat him as an entrepreneur. First time in the country, first time, nowhere in the country we have done it, Akshakalpa farmer certifies his own milk. Entire data goes to the cloud. The moment data hits the cloud, payment is triggered. No questions asked. We are asking him to certify his milk. Nobody does it. He has to take to collection center. Somebody has to verify that. Because we don't trust our farmers. Why? We don't trust our farmers. Why? See, I gave you some 20 minutes time to think what is profitable farming. Because we don't trust our farmers, because we don't trust ourselves. Therefore, we want somebody else to verify it. We need to allow farmer to be an entrepreneur, to declare what is his milk is. He has to declare his milk is free of antibiotics. First time in the country. He has to declare stability of the milk. How do you measure the stability of a milk? Can anybody answer me? How do you measure the stability of milk? Very cheap test, very, very cheap test to measure the stability of a milk. You have heard of alcohol stability? So we can test, okay, stability of a milk with a simple alcohol test. Akshakalpa milk, okay, stable up to 75% alcohol test, it is stable. Nowhere in the country you can achieve this because the farm level practices are so good. Cow feeding is so good. Protein composition is so good. To do a UHT packing of a milk, you need minimum 65% stability of a milk because it doesn't to sustain the high temperatures. So we don't get such a good milk in the country. We get it. This entire thing is certified by the farmer himself. Nobody tests it. So this is a wonderful system. Every farm has a test system. Data goes to the cloud. The moment data goes to the cloud, we make the payment to the farmers. So if you want to be part of this journey, all of you are welcome to join Akshakalpa and build next generation farmers. You can think it is my sales pitch for you, okay, to come and join Akshakalpa. I have put some metrics till 2020. I wanted to tell you what did we achieve out of all these things what we have done. Does any of these metrics make sense to you? There are some responsible goals, social goals. We have reduced default rate in farmers from 50% to less than 0.5%. Basically, why we don't trust farmers? Because any loan given to farmers, they never repaid. That's where the trust deficit comes. We have built the trust deficit up, 0.5% default rate. You can see 96% of the farmers have been able to get bank financing. When we started the project, it was 4%. You can see we have linked around 631 farmers. It is around 20%. MBRT count, you need to talk. It's the biggest joke in the country. Right now, MBRT counts. What is MBRT count? Can anybody answer me? Yeah. It is basically a blue. You add into your raw milk. You put it at 36-degree temperature. You calculate how many hours, it actually the blue disappears. This basically tests the stability of the milk, how stable the milk is, how much the bacterial load in the milk, okay? In India, standard is 10 minutes to 80 minutes is the standard. We have taken that one to 5.5 hours. This is the best possible raw milk collected in the country. Nowhere in the country we are able to achieve these standards. You can check with KMF, you can check with your Kerala board, you can check with Amul, you can check with anybody, big players. Nobody can claim more than 80 minutes. Hatson have come very close, around 2 hours. So that's what the MBRT numbers, which I am aware. So these things actually add into lot of value for farmers in terms of pricing. We outprice nearest player by 40%. Understand what does it mean? We pay 40% more than anybody can pay to the farmer in the country. You can take the biggest player in the country, we are outpricing them by 40% because there's a willing consumer willing to pay better prices for this. For example, in Bangalore, we sell our milk at 100 rupees a liter. We daily sell 75,000 liters of milk. Okay, you know what KMF sells at 40 rupees. So therefore, we can afford to pay better prices to farmers. This is exactly what needs to be done. Better quality, better income to farmers derives from the work we do in the field. Women farmers is one area where we have taken up a substantial level. Almost, 25 to 26% are women farmers, where we are transferring the money directly to the women farmers. What we have seen is, it is not just about women farmers. Wherever we have transferred money to women farmer accounts, savings have been better, farm has been managed better, household has been managed better. Therefore, basically indicates that women are better managers. So that is also proven in Akshakalpa itself. All the decision-making positions in Akshakalpa, they are run by women. All of them. Starting from HR to plant running to marketing to every decision is made by women. So therefore, women are proving more and more entrepreneurial. They are better managers. They have better entrepreneurial skills. This is a very important example. Next. This is one slide I want to spend some time. I think Dr. Prakash can also add in. So what data, survey data in India says is that, per annum kg production of milk in India is 1,400 kgs for a crossbreed animal, on government surveys. United Kingdom claims, to do around 8,000 kgs. US claims to do around 10,000 kgs. Israel claims to do around 12,000 kgs. In 12 years, Akshakalpa, we have tagged and tracking 11,000 animals. So we are doing around 3,000 kgs, in 2019, 3,300 kgs in 2020. Genetic potential, to realization is a huge gap. In my belief is the animal breed genetics, what we have, at least in our farms, we should be able to do 6,000 kgs to 8,000 kgs. But we are not able to do it because there is always a gap between genetic potential and what you can realize because of various reasons which are beyond our control. What we have done is going to farmers and explaining how to raise a better calf. It has to start from there. Genetics is there, given. 6,000 kg genetics is there, 8,000 kg genetics is there. But if you don't raise a better calf, you don't get a better milk. So that we need to understand, we need to start from there. That's the work what we are doing. Other important thing I wanted to bring out, what we are doing in Akshakalpa. What we have done is integrated dairy farming, into a lot of soil management. When we started our program, when we baselined our farms, our Tiptur belt is a very good coconut belt. Like in Kerala, we have got a dry copra. You have got a normal coconut. It is a dry belt copra. That survey says that yield rate 55 nuts per tree per annum. That's what the survey, government survey also matches with our survey. We repeated our surveys after our intervention. It has gone up to 81 nuts per tree per annum. But I was curious. 1903 and 1905, the British Day surveys indicate that our area did 185 nuts per tree per annum. You can ask what happened in 120 years of farming. I still not got an answer from you. I'm going to ask that. In 120 years of farming, what has happened is we have basically killed the soil. A tree which is producing 185 nuts, we have brought it down to 55 nuts. We have seen, extracted all the nutrients from the soil, we never took care of the soil. But our intervention, what it looks like better soil management, we can change it. Maybe next 50 years, if we continue to work with same farmers, I think we can restore 185 nuts, but it's a long journey. So this is what you should do. Integrate dairy farming into managing the farms. So if you manage a better dairy farm, he gets a better income. Then it removes lot of clutter from his head. when there's a money in his hand, then he can manage his farm better. That's exactly what this indicates. Next. Today, Akshakalpa is a certified organic milk player, biggest certified organic milk player in the country. We are in the 3 markets, Bangalore, Chennai, and Hyderabad. We are expanding to Kerala shortly, especially on the marketing side. So it has taken 12 years of journey for us, and we are a FAIR TSA certified, and of course, Jaivik Bharat and Canadian Organic certified. Next. Next, yeah. This is what the slide I want to just put in front of you. This is basically a movement of milk prices in our area. It is not throughout the country. In Tiptur belt, in Tumkur district, this is exactly how the milk prices move. And the maroon line, what you say is Akshay Kalpa. The down what you see is the price paid by KMF to the farmers. This is measured over a period of, I think, 6 years. So this is exactly how the milk prices are moving. So you get an indication that where do we stand in terms of the prices what we are paying to the farmers. This is very, very important. Next. Go back a couple of slides. Go back to the first slide. So I would like to stop here. Maybe I would like to interact. How much time we have? We still have good, 15 plus 10, 25 minutes, as for my clock. I want to get little bit engagement going. I don't want to talk last. But before we start, I just want to understand what is your view of profitable farming. There's no right answer or a wrong answer. I think we all have different views of profitable farming.
Sir, today most of the farms are mechanized. Then you told that you hired 850 farmers from 850 villages in your Akshay Kalpa. Then first of all, it is a great job because based on humanity, it is very good. But what about the financial burden thereafter?
Good question. In a profitable dairy farming journey, finances actually play a very important role. Akshay Kalpa farmers, at an average, they earn 100,000 rupees per month. So that's the level of earning we have taken them. 50% of that one is net on hand. So you're staying in a village, 2 acre, 3 acre, 5 acres of land holding. From dairy, if you are earning 50,000 rupees net, that's a lot of money. So that's the change what we have bought in. All the farms are mechanized. For example, drudgery of lifting dung on the head, all those things we have removed. We have built a very good dung handling systems where people can feel comfortable. Of course, they need to spend morning 2 hours and evening 2 hours on the farm. Like any entrepreneurship journey, they need to build and work and manage farms.
According to what he said, so he's paying 40% more price to the farmers, and then the farmer ensured the good quality. So the farmer has a higher price and a guaranteed sale. So he makes more money. Then he can pay his debt back. Because he make a loan from the bank for buying the equipment. That was your question coming from, right? So he can get more money, guaranteed money to pay back.
Thanks, doctor. Any other questions? Especially on profitable dairy farming from a animal point of view. You should be brimming with lot of questions, You know, what is the theme of this conference? What is the theme? Huh? No, one person. What is the theme of this conference? What is the theme of conference? What is the theme of this conference? No, what is the theme of this conference?
Fostering a knowledge economy.
So, it's all about you going in there and making that impact. You need to get back to rural areas. 60% of our population is still in rural areas. You are, as an young, okay, people with lot of ideas, we need to get back, okay, to cities. No, to our villages. We need to get back. There is a question.
Sir, during the handling of fluid milk, it's the possibility of processing rather than value addition, which is more economical for a dairy farmer. Value addition or processing and selling it, just like as a fluid milk, or converting to value added products like curd or butter or something like that, which is more profitable in our sector.
It's a good question. From a food safety point of view, okay, processing products at a farm is very difficult. So if you want to make a curd, you want to make a ghee, butter, you can still make, but from a food safety standards point of view, it requires some investment to maintain hygiene standards. Generally, farmers should really look at how he can profitably produce the milk. That's very, very important. Okay, how we can feed animal better. Okay, Dr. Prakash was saying how genetics can take the milk production up, okay, and manage the cow better so that he can earn better. So there are possibilities for him to do value addition. For example, simple value addition we have taught him is chilling the milk. In India, it never happens. A value addition never happens. Value addition is just not curd. In our opinion, chilling the milk at the farm itself is a value addition. By chilling the milk, other than the milk prices, he gets 1.5 rupee extra over and above what is priced in our price chart. So that is another part. Second value addition, what we have done is, you should produce a milk without antibiotics. It's one of the stated goals of organic farming, that is value addition. For that one, he gets better prices. So next value addition, okay, what we have done is, you should actually stay away from induced hormone treatment. For example, infertility, there are a lot of issues, okay, hormone treatment is required, okay. We want farmer to stay away from that, okay, from an ethical standpoint. He gets a better money. In India, cows are tied. In our farms, tethering is removed. Tying of animal is not allowed. That is a value addition. For that one, he earns better money. So we need to really think, just not milk to curd to ghee. No, that's not what the value addition farmer can do. Farmer can do a lot more value addition to his produce by following better production practices. Also, other value addition he can do is better soil management. Use the dung productively to manage the soil better. These are not the 10 cow, or they're not the 100 cow, 200 cow, 300 cow farms. They're very small farms, 5 cows, 10 cows, 15 cow farms. They can actually take that dung and do better soil management. So this is the better value addition what you can look at. Hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions?
You have said that all of the farms have a laboratory itself, that he certified that his milk is lacking antibiotic residues and all. In our situation, there is no facilities to test whether milk is containing antibiotic residues and all. Can you elaborate on that thing?
See, when you inject an antibiotic into the cow, what happens? Can anybody explain? What is an antibiotic cycle? 60% of it, okay, actually comes out in milk. Remaining around probably 30%, okay, actually comes out in defecation. That's the impact of antibiotics. If the antibiotic keeps coming out in milk in animal treatment, we keep taking that antibiotic. What is the biggest problem? We develop resistance to antibiotics. It's very, very important in food system. What we need to teach farmer is, when an antibiotic is used to treat an animal, it needs to be segregated from the milk grid. That milk needs to be used for calf rearing or whatever other purposes what he can feed, but it cannot come into milk grid. Second thing is, we should teach him, okay, simple techniques. There are antibiotic test strips are available. It gives yes or no answer. He doesn't need not know what is the percentage of antibiotics in that, not required. Okay, so yeah, just qualitative indication of yes or no. If the antibiotic positive is yes, he can stop, okay, giving that milk to, okay, into the grid. The simple techniques like that we can develop, we have developed. No, we should never get that one into any collection centers. By food safety standards point of view, milk with antibiotics cannot be consumed. No, the challenge here is one test costs, okay, how much you remember? No, 200 rupees is one test strip today. So farmer has to invest. To invest that amount of, okay, testing, he needs to earn substantial. So that we need to keep it in mind. We can't do it in 1 liter, 2 liter, 3 liter production systems. We cannot do it. That's the reason, in my opinion, 1 cow, 2 cow, 3 models of milk production is not sustainable. It is not possible to produce milk in a sustainable way. Dr. Prakash was saying, what is sustainable dairy farming? It's very, very important. We need to produce milk at a scale and responsible production. One of the charts what he had was, we have got a social responsibility to feed our consumers, which is free of antibiotics. We need to really take that responsibility. It is on farmer. It's very, very important. Any other questions?
So, adding to what he asked, rather than this production part that you're told you're selling the milk organic and nutritious. So, what makes this milk organic and nutritious rather than this feeding part? Is there any other processing or?
Simple organic production definition is very simple. We have to cut external inputs. What is an external input in an organic, in a production system? Feed coming from outside, fodder coming from outside, that needs to be stopped. The moment you do that, the production systems become organic. Second thing is cow management. Cows cannot be tied and tethered. Third is, one of the aspects he told, cow should be allowed to express herself. She should be willing to jump, we should be willing to run, we should be willing to roam, we should be willing to really cuddle. We should be able to do a lot of things. We should allow. That we need to take care of that. Other aspect is ad libitum access to feed and fodder and water. We can't restrain her to have what we feed. We should have a clean access to water 24/7, feed and fodder access to 24/7. So what you feed, where it comes from, coming from the same farm without external inputs. Cow should be able to, we should treat the cow better, and access to feed and fodder. These are some of the key important ingredients in making the organic milk production work. Hopefully that answers your question, madam.
Sir, good afternoon. So, like our university, it offers many courses, though not just veterinary. So we are handling with dairy processing and all. So as a dairy technologist, I just want to ask you, are you just marketing the milk as such, like raw milk, or are you processing the milk? So like that, first of all. And more, second question is, like, now you're offering the milk at 100 rupees per liter, right? So it's a very niche market. So how do you plan to go into the masses, or how do you plan to expand? Like an average Indian won't be able to pay 100 rupees per liter. So how do you see yourself in the future, or how do you go to plan into the or go into the masses?
It's a very important question you raise, okay? So one thing is, initial days, we didn't add money to market ourselves. What we did was, we took 1 liter, 2 liters of milk, and we gave it to our friends in Bangalore. They told the neighbors, they told the neighbors, they told the neighbors. 75,000 liters of milk we are selling today, we sold without marketing. We didn't do 1 rupee marketing budget. So it's exactly what we sold. Initial days, we sold raw milk. Okay, so Next question is affordability. I don't believe 100 rupees is too high. I will tell you why. You go to a villager, you ask him how much money he spends on smoking BDs. Can anybody answer me? Per annum. We should be able to answer this question. See, I don't know, a lot of jargons will be there. Somebody might call it's a cigarette, somebody can call it BD or whatever. How much money they spend per annum on BDs and cigarettes? If they can invest that much money on drinking good milk, the money is there. I don't believe we are poor. We should stop tagging ourselves as poor, poor, poor. I think resources are there. We need to learn to mobilize our resources. First answer. How much money we spend, okay, on drinking carbonated drinks? How much money we spend, go to a cinema hall every weekend, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees, we just like that throw. I don't believe anybody out there doesn't have money. The way is, we need to prioritize what is important to us. If people want to have a good food, they need to learn to pay for it. Farmer, for example, your articulation finally leads to cheating the farmer. In the name of giving cheap milk, we are cheating the farmer. That's not what we should be doing. So therefore, every villager can afford an organic milk. Everybody in the country can afford an organic milk. It is not expensive. It is there in our minds. We need to start removing those thoughts from our minds. It is not at all expensive. I have done a lot of surveys in all the villages. How much money they spend by drinking? Daily I am telling you, at an average, okay, they need 100 rupees for drinking. Even a laborer, 3,000 rupees per month is required to go and booze in boozing shops. Please, you understand, no? I don't agree that it's affordability price, affordability question. It's a question of our priorities. Consumers, anybody need to set their priorities right, pay the farmer better. It's very, very important to get the good food. I'm sorry, it's a little bit a hard answer, but I thought you guys should know the BD statistics and carbonated drink statistics. Okay? If you are a dairy professional, dairy technologist, you're the first person you should know this. What is the carbonated drinks? How much it constitutes, how much you pay. I am nothing against a big industry. I'm a very, very small player, but I definitely believe I represent good food movement. Any other questions? We still have 8 minutes.
Continuing on that, like there are many cooperative societies that decide the price of the milk based on SNF and milk fat. So how did you decide the price of the milk?
Our milk price is determined by what market pays, not by fat and SNF. That's it. We have got arrived at a formula I told you is value additions. Milk free of antibiotics. You need to get a better standard of measuring milk quality. It's not fat and SNF. Fat and SNF is a genetic trait. Fat and SNF is not a farming trait. For example, jerseys produce better fat. Friesians produce more milk, less fat. Local breeds produce better SNF, better fat. We need to really understand this is the genetic trait. It's not under farmer control. Why are you penalizing him for things which are not under his control? You should pay to the farmer for the aspects which he has under control. Producing antibiotic-free milk is under his control. Stable milk production is under control. TMR feeding is under control. Better calf rearing is under control. This is exactly how we determine milk pricing. So hopefully, therefore, moving fat and SNF is one of the most nonsense way of paying to the farmer. Believe me.
The organic farming completely excludes the use of antibiotics, or it will allow the animal to mate naturally. That's one thing. With a point of view from a veterinarian, how can you explain if the animal is affected with the mastitis and all, or all, how you treat the animals in your farm?
There are two aspects of mastitis treatment. One thing is, can we understand, okay, I will give you my statistics. I can't explain what others are doing. Immediately after milking, cow should not be allowed to lay down. How do we do that? Feed and fodder should be available so that she can go and eat feed and fodder. Okay, this is the management practice. First management practice. So therefore, ad libitum feeding has got a direct impact on how the mastitis control happens. Second thing is pre-dip and post-dips actually control lot of mastitis challenges. In Akshay Kalpa, 11,000 cows tagged. Our subclinical mastitis rate is 9%. Nobody can claim this kind of data in the country. How did we arrive at? Because changing the practices. Okay, the first one, that's the reason. Treating the mastitis is an aftermath. Problem happened, we are trying to treat the mastitis. No. We need to really understand how do we control the mastitis. Management. Focus on management. The first way of addressing the mastitis. Of course, if mastitis does happen, okay, not that we can't stop, it gets treated with antibiotics. Cow needs to be segregated from the grid. Okay, and exclusion period of 15 days needs to be mandatorily followed. As simple as that. So therefore, better is avoid mastitis. Change the management practices so that farmer earns better. Farmer doesn't know, okay, mastitis is causing him losses. Treatment is causing his losses. Treatment is causing animal problems. Host of issues. Hopefully that answers your question. Management coupled with treatment practices is very, very important. Lot of ethno-veterinary mechanisms are also available. We can detail it later. Okay, but one of the biggest way of treating mastitis, 3 times, once if it happens, you have to express out the milk 3 to 4 times a day. We don't do that. Okay, when you express out, avoid external infections. We can use a lot of concoctions to avoid external infections. This is the best way to treat mastitis. We don't do that. Farmer, watches. Get the antibiotic, insert the tubes, do all those management. That is nonsense. Still we have got 4 minutes. 4 more questions.
Good afternoon, sir. So you told to get the organic milk, first we have to cut all the outsourcing. So now we are in a situation like world, almost all the residues are one way or other way in our environment. So what are the constraints you find in the initial state of making this organic milk? And the second question is, we are in a small state like Kerala, the people have only very limited land. So one way or other way, we have to get the things from the outside. So it's very difficult for us to maintain our own things. And also you told the cattle have to roam around and they have to play, then only they will be happy and produce good milk. But we are in actually it's a bad situation, like we don't have much land and like that. So what are the suggestions you give for us, for the farmers who having the limited land as well as the constraints you found to make them organic milk? Thanks.
I think I will take a minute to explain this. Organic milk production is tough. The residues do come in the milk. We need to acknowledge this fact. Conversion of a land from a traditional farming systems to organic systems can take anywhere between 2 to 5 years. So this is not a single step. Oh no, today you can't say I'm organic. So there is a process for it to continuously remove the inputs which are giving to the soil. It has to be stopped. Sprays needs to be stopped. So that is the first level of cutting off the. There are a lot of mechanisms where we can integrate. For example, hedge bunding, hedge crops, hedge trees. All those things we can integrate to shield the farm from outside contaminants coming in, outside water flowing into the farm. All those things we need to really avoid. There are a lot of methods available. Which to make the farm organic, but it's a 3 to 5 years journey. State like Kerala, okay, is a unique model. Though affluency level is very high here, the land holding is very, very small because of, okay, number of farmers are more, population is more, okay, there are challenges like this. There are states like neighboring states like Tamil Nadu, the huge land available, bordering states. Maybe we should just really see how we establish a continuous production systems in those states so that the state of Kerala can be fed with a very good quality milk. Right now, most of the milk Kerala state is getting from, okay, outside, very dirty milk. So I think you buy a lot of milk. I think government is making a lot of efforts to buy quality milk, but it is not going to happen unless you invest on production systems. We should move away from collection systems. That is my view. To do that, I think government should actively work with maybe farmers outside the state. So therefore, you need to reimagine the boundary of state. Okay, so how Kerala government can actively work with farmers in Tamil Nadu, for example. It is possible. Okay, it's just intergovernment collaborations are possible, better veterinary care, better extension services. That's the only way, madam. There is no other way. There's no silver bullet to produce a good quality milk. I think we are up 1:45. Okay, I think we were supposed to close at 1:30. Thank you very much. Hopefully this has been helpful. Okay, and if any one of you wants to join us, we have got a very good 16-member veterinary team, 200 people extension workers. This is the biggest extension team in the country right now. Akshakalpa today is a 1,000 people organization. Out of that, 200 people we work with farmers. They are not milk procurement. This is development. Going and making sure farmer produces good quality milk at a profitable manner. Any one of you want to join this journey, okay, please look for akshakalpa.org, or my phone number is there in the presentation. You can have a look at it. Okay, call me, email me. So we look forward to attract young people going back and working in, okay, farming. And our second cluster is coming out in Changalpattu district, okay, in Tamil Nadu. Started 3 years back. So anybody wants to become veterinarians there, so please come down. Dairy technologists, please come down, okay, and see, okay, we can make it happen. Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I appreciate.
Thank you so much, sir. We are now heading to the concluding of this session. Thank you so much for such a cooperation, even though we had a lot of glitches. But all of you were so generous and kind to us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, students. Now we would like to present our token of appreciation to our speakers today from the side of ASAP. Dr. Prakash Kalarikal. Mr. Shashikumar, sir. With this, we are concluding the session. Students can join for the lunch in the food court, which is nearby.
അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ആഫ്റ്റർനൂൺ സെഷൻ കുറച്ച് നമുക്കൊന്ന് കട്ട് ഷോട്ട് ചെയ്യേണ്ട ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. കാരണം നമ്മൾ ലാഗ് ചെയ്യണം. നമ്മുടെ സെഷൻ്റെ കറക്റ്റ് ടൈമിങ്ങിൻ്റെ കുറച്ച് പ്രശ്നമുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് 3 o'clock നമ്മുടെ മെയിൻ വെന്യൂവിലേക്ക് അസംബിൾ ചെയ്യണം. അവിടെ നമ്മുടെ CM ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു ഇൻട്രാക്റ്റീവ് സെഷനുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ അത് കാരണം നമുക്കൊരു മാക്സിമം ഒരു 20 minutes കൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് ഈ സെഷൻ വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം. സെഷൻ്റെ മെയിനായിട്ടുള്ള ഒബ്ജക്റ്റീവ് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, നിങ്ങൾ ഈ PSSൻ്റെ ടാഗ് ലൈൻ കണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഫോസ്റ്ററിങ് എ നോളജ് എക്കോണമി. ഓക്കെ, എന്താണ് നോളജ് എക്കോണമി? ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് പെട്ടെന്ന് പറയാമോ? കാരണം അതിൻ്റെ ബേസിസിലാണ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ നടക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് നോളജ് എക്കോണമി? രാവിലത്തെ സെഷൻ കണ്ടവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി കാണും എന്താണ് നോളജ് എക്കോണമി. പല സ്പീക്കേഴ്സും പരാമർശിച്ച ഒരു വാക്കാണ് ഈ നോളജ് എക്കോണമി. ആരെങ്കിലും ഒന്ന് പറയോ? ജസ്റ്റ് ഗസ് ചെയ്യുക, എന്താണ് കേട്ടവർക്ക് എന്താണ് നോളജ് എക്കോണമി? ആർക്കും അറിയില്ല എന്താണ് നോളജ് എക്കോണമി? ഓക്കെ, ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ഡെവലപ്പിംഗ് കൺട്രി, അത് ഏതൊരു ഡെവലപ്പിംഗ് രാജ്യം എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും അവരുടെ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ആ ഒരു എക്കണോമി ബേസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ കുറേ വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുന്നേ ഒരു ആഗ്രേറിയൻ എക്കണോമി നിങ്ങൾ പല കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, അതായത് അഗ്രികൾച്ചർ ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള എക്കണോമി. പഴയ കാലത്ത് ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ്, ഇപ്പോൾ ഈവൻ ഇന്ത്യക്ക് ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻസ് കിട്ടിയതിന് ശേഷം 1947 ശേഷമുള്ള ഒരു കുറച്ച് കാലഘട്ടം, ഒരു 10-30 വർഷം ഈ ഒരു ആഗ്രേറിയൻ, നമ്മൾ അഗ്രികൾച്ചർ ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടായിരുന്നു നമ്മുടെ എക്കണോമി നിലനിന്ന് പോകുന്നു, അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ആ ആഗ്രേറിയൻ എക്കണോമി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയൽ റവല്യൂഷൻ്റെ ഒരു ഭാഗമായിട്ടൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ മാനുഫാക്ചറിങ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സെക്ടർ ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് ബൂം ചെയ്തിരുന്ന ഒരു സമയമാണ്. അങ്ങനെ വന്നപ്പോഴത്തേക്കും അവിടെ ഒരു ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയൽ എക്കോണമി, ആ ഒരു രാജ്യം ബേസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുക, അതിൻ്റെ എക്കണോമി ബേസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് തന്നെ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തത്, അത് മാനുഫാക്ചറിങ് ഓഫ് ഗുഡ്സ്, ആ ഒരു രീതിയിലോട്ട് മാറി. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇന്നത്തെ ഒരു നൂതനമായ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്നത്തെ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിലേക്ക് വന്നപ്പോൾ ആ എക്കണോമി ഡെവലപ്ഡ് രാജ്യങ്ങൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്ന, ഡെവലപ്പിംഗ് കൺട്രീസിൻ്റെ കാര്യമല്ല, ഏറ്റവും വികസിതമായ രാജ്യങ്ങൾ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന എക്കോണമിയാണ് നോളജ് എക്കണോമി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നോളജ് എക്കണോമി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അത് ബേസ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന മെയിനായിട്ടുള്ള ഫാക്ട് ആൾക്കാരുടെ, അതായത് ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടീനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ കേപ്പബിലിറ്റീസിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു എക്കോണമിയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ എക്കോണമി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, നോളജ് എക്കണോമി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ അങ്ങനെ വരുമ്പോൾ പല മേഖലകളിലും ഇതിൻ്റെ അതായത് നോളജ് എക്കണോമി എന്തും ആവാം. അത് ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഈവൻ അതൊരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഈവൻ ഒരു മെഷീൻ്റെ ഒരു പേറ്റൻ്റ് ആവും, അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഒരു പ്രൊപ്രൈറ്ററി സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആകാം, എന്തും ആകാം. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് ഒരു ഫിസിക്കലായിട്ടുള്ള, നമുക്ക് നന്നായിട്ട് അറിയാം ഈ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ അത് ഫിസിക്കൽ റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസും അങ്ങനെയായിട്ടുള്ള ലേബർ ഇൻറ്റൻസീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ടാസ്കുകളും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇൻഡസ്ട്രികളിലുള്ള ഒരു കാലഘട്ടം വളരെ കുറഞ്ഞു വരുന്ന ഒരു സമയമാണ്. കാരണം ഒരു 80കളിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 70കളിലോ ഒക്കെ സിനിമകൾ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞ് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എല്ലാത്തിലും മെയിനായിട്ട് കാണിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സീനുണ്ടാകും, ഒരു ഫാക്ടറിയിൽ സൈറൻ കേൾക്കുന്ന കുറേ ഫാക്ടറി വർക്കേഴ്സ് ഇറങ്ങി വരുന്നു. ഇന്നത്തെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു സിനിമയിൽ നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സീനാണ് എവിടെയെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? ഓട്ടോമേഷൻ, അല്ലേ? ഓട്ടോമേഷൻ വന്നതോടുകൂടി ആ ലേബർ ഇൻറ്റൻസീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ലേബേഴ്സിൻ്റെ ആവശ്യം വളരെയധികം കുറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ വരുന്ന ഈ ഒരു മെഷീൻസ്, ഇതിനെ ഓപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന മെഷീൻസ്, ഇത് ആരുടെയെങ്കിലും ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വലിൽ തോന്നിയ ഒരു ഡിസൈനിൽ തോന്നിയ ഒരു തിങ്കിൽ തോന്നിയ ഒരു സാധനമായിരിക്കുമല്ലോ ഈ മെഷീൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ അതിനെ ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ് ഈ ഡെവലപ്ഡ് രാജ്യങ്ങളെന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ ഈവൻ ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസ്, നമ്മൾ ഒരുപാട് ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസും കാര്യങ്ങൾ വരുന്നത് ഈ ഓട്ടോമേഷൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സ് ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ബേസിസ്, ഇതിൻ്റെ തുടക്കം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ മെഷീൻസ് ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്ത ആൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇതിന് സപ്ലൈ ചെയ്തെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എവിടെ നിന്നായിരുന്നു? നമ്മളെവിടെയാണോ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്? അല്ല, ഇതെല്ലാം നമ്മൾ മറ്റ് രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ നിന്നെല്ലാം ഇമ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നതും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മറ്റൊരു കമ്പനീനെ ആശ്രയിച്ചും ഡിപ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്തും നിൽക്കുന്ന ഒരു ഇൻഡസ്ട്രിയാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന, ആ ഡെവലപ്ഡ് രാജ്യം ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അവരുടെ ആ ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടിയാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ മെഷീനറിയെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഓട്ടോമേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പ്രോസസ്സിൻ്റെ പ്രൊപ്രൈറ്ററി ആ ഒരു പാറ്റൻറ്റ് കീപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന രാജ്യം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു കമ്പനി ആയിരിക്കും അതിൻ്റെ അൾട്ടിമേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് ആ ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, അതിൽ നിന്നുള്ള പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ഗെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ കേരള എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനം ഇന്നത്തെ ഒരു കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ ഫോക്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്നതും എങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ എക്കോണമിയെ ഒരു നോളജ് എക്കോണമി ആയിട്ട് ബേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് മുന്നോട്ട് പോകാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഡിസ്കഷൻ എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, നിങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലസ്റ്റർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വെറ്റിനറി ക്ലസ്റ്ററുമായിട്ട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സെക്ടറുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട രീതിയിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് പ്രൊവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന സജഷൻസ്. ഓക്കെ, ഏതൊക്കെ തരത്തിൽ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു നോളജ് എക്കോണമിയെ നിങ്ങളുടെ സെക്ടറുമായിട്ട് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫീൽഡുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് എന്തൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, അങ്ങനെ ഒരു റെക്കമെൻഡേഷനാണ് നമ്മൾ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. അത് ഡയറക്റ്റായിട്ട് നമ്മളത് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഗവൺമെൻറ്റിന് സബ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന റെക്കമെൻഡേഷനാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് ഈ ഒരു സെഷൻ വേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ ജസ്റ്റ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇരിക്കുന്ന ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, ഈ ഒരു റോ നമുക്ക് ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് കാണാം. അത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഓൾറെഡി നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നോട്ട് പാഡും ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നോട്ട് പാഡ് പെന്നൊക്കെ നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ആ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് നിങ്ങൾ പരസ്പരം ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുക. ഒരു 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ എടുത്തോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോട്ടെ ഒരു 15 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ എടുത്തോ. അതിനുള്ളിൽ 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് മതിയല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ എടുത്തോ. 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്തതിന് ശേഷം 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് ലാസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങൾ അതിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് 2 റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ തന്നാൽ, നമ്മൾ കൂടുതലൊന്നും ആവശ്യപ്പെടുന്നില്ല, 2 റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ, പക്ഷേ അത് ബെസ്റ്റ് റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ ആയിരിക്കണം. അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ, മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ? എന്തെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾ തന്നിട്ട് കാര്യമില്ല, ബെസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻ ആയിരിക്കണം എന്ത് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ. അതിപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഗവൺമെൻറ് ഇപ്പോൾ പദ്ധതികളോ മറ്റു കാര്യങ്ങളോ അതിനപ്പുറത്തേക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഇപ്പോൾ ഒന്നും വേണ്ട. ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയണം. ഓൾറെഡി വാക്സിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു സംഭവം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ കോവാക്സിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ രീതിയിൽ നമ്മളിന്ന് കണ്ടു. ഈ വാക്സിൻ ഓൾറെഡി ഒരു പ്രൊപ്രൈറ്ററി ആയിട്ടുള്ള അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പാറ്റൻറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഫോർമുലയാണ് അല്ലേ. ഇത് വേറെ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഭാരത് ബയോടെക് അവർക്ക് മാത്രമേ വികസിപ്പിക്കാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അവരെന്താ ചെയ്ത് അതിനെ ക്യാപിറ്റലൈസ് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പോൾ അതുപോലെ വെറ്റിനറി സയൻസിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്കിപ്പോൾ മൃഗങ്ങളിലെല്ലാം പല രീതിയിലുള്ള ക്യാൻസർ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള രോഗങ്ങളൊക്കെ പല ഇതിൽ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൻ്റെ ക്യാൻസറിന് പറ്റിയ വാക്സിൻ, ഏറ്റവും നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള വാക്സിൻ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള, ഞാൻ ജസ്റ്റ് ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറഞ്ഞാൽ അതൊരു പ്രൊപ്രൈറ്ററി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇൻ്റലക്ച്വൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ വരുന്നതാണ്. ഓക്കെ, ഇതൊക്കെ നോളജ് എക്കണോമി ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ. അതൊരു സിംഗിൾ ഐഡിയയിൽ നിന്നുണ്ടാകുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതുപോലെ ഇപ്പോൾ പലയിടത്തും വികസിത രാജ്യങ്ങളിലും നമ്മൾ ഡ്രോൺ ടെക്നോളജി വെറ്റിനറി ഫീൽഡുമായിട്ടൊക്കെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റോക്കിൻ്റെ മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റിലോട്ടായിട്ടൊക്കെ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, ഇപ്പം അതായത് ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഡ്രോണിൽ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്രൊപ്രൈറ്ററി സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ പാസ്റ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ലാൻഡ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കാറ്റിൽസിന് ഗ്രേസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ലാൻഡ് കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റോക്കിൻ്റെ നമ്പേഴ്സ് ഇതൊക്കെ കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുക, ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സംഭവം. അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പാറ്റൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഇൻ്റർനെറ്റ് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് അതുപോലെ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട് ലൈഫ് സ്റ്റോക്ക് മാനേജ്മെൻറ്റ്. ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ, അതായത് ഒരു ക്യൂബ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ക്യാപ്സ്യൂളോ അത് നമ്മൾ ഇഞ്ചെക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന വെച്ചിട്ട് ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ആനിമലിൻ്റെ എല്ലാ രീതിയിലുള്ള ഹെൽത്ത്, ഇനി അടുത്ത വാക്സിൻ എടുക്കണോ അല്ല അതിൻ്റെ ഹെൽത്ത് ഇഷ്യൂസ് എല്ലാം ഡയറക്റ്റ്ലി റിയൽ ടൈമിൽ മോണിറ്റർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആപ്ലിക്കേഷനോ, ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ സാധ്യതകളും ഉണ്ട് പല ഫീൽഡിൽ. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള എന്തെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങളുടെ മനസ്സിൽ തോന്നുന്ന ഐഡിയാസോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സജഷൻസോ അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുക. ആ 2 പോയിന്റ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ 2 റെക്കമെൻഡേഷൻസ് നിങ്ങൾ സജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുക. ഇത്രയേ ഉള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ യു ക്യാൻ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് നൗ. So Dr. Prakash Kallarikar sir has joined for this session. So if you need any guidance, you can ask him.
Hello. Um, so, hello. So I'm not going to give any recommendation to you. Rather, I would like to listen to you first, okay? I may have some ideas. So what have you learned today, these 2 sessions we had in the morning? So not, I don't want to know what you have learned, but what you can apply from what you have learned. For example, we talked about genetics, we talked about farming, organic farming, changing from normal to organic, any other things. Suppose if any one of you, if I ask you, I'm from the government or anything, or you are a chief somewhere in charge of the veterinary department in the government, what would you do for Kerala? That may be the right way to start. What will be your number one priority? At least from what you have listened to us today. So in order to do so, we need to think this way. We need to know where we are today. Okay? Where we are in this, not we are at a less complex now, in terms of veterinary, dairy, or animal kind of stuff. So what are the deficiencies? What are the negative points you could think about after listening to us? Once you know that, we know where we are, and then we can set our goal. Okay? So from what we are today and then what is your goal, that is called a gap. And then we need to think about how we fill the gap. So that is the strategic way of thinking. Okay? So from what you listen to us, tell me one of the deficiencies, one of the areas we need improvement, please. Milk production, okay. And okay, where is milk production coming from? Don't say from the cow, I know. how we can achieve a good milk production from what I explained. You need genetics, you need management, nutrition, you need everything, right? So you could say, I'm just picking on what you said. And what is Kerala situation? We don't have enough milk, right? So you are bringing polluted milk, adulterated milk from other places. And we have no choice, right? And some people even bring it and then sell it as a good fresh milk and everything. So we have shortage of good quality milk. And I want to use the most misused word I used, sustainability. Why don't we say that Kerala should be sustainable in milk production? Yeah? So that means then you have to break it down to how we can achieve those. So that will say that you need to have genetic improvement, you need to have better management, you need to have better nutrition, then you need to have better housing systems. And that combines with the training also, that comes under management. So if you want to say one of the recommendation could be Kerala to become sustainable in milk production, have you heard about SMART objectives? You know what SMART objectives are? No? How do you spell smart? S-M-A-R-T, right? So when you make an objective, it has to be smart, meaning it has to be specific. Okay? It has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. We cannot just bluff and produce, I can produce so much milk. And we have to be the T for time bound. So in order to make such an objective, that need to be smart. Otherwise it will not work. So you need to find out, maybe not you, someone else has to find out that what is the milk production today and how much we need in the next 5 years, or what can be achieved. So it has to be specific. You need to say increase milk production from so many tons to this many tons and achievable. It has to be measurable. So that you are saying the quantity. So specific, measurable, then achievable. You cannot simply say I will triple milk production. It will not work. So you have to be realistic on that. That is R. And then you need to be time bound. So you need to say in 5 years or 10 years, whatever. So that is how you make a smart plan. So self-sustainability in milk production could be a tagline. Then you can break it down to different areas in a smart way, and also with the numbers, with the different action plans, such as genetic improvement. That is one big word, but you have to say how you make genetic improvement. So you have to think about selecting cows, which I told you this morning. You have to find the best bulls, and then you have to. So then it comes with the breeding program. Then it comes with the training. So it's all a lot of activities to do. Does that make sense? Any other ideas? Any other areas? You can include one more element into this. Sustainable, clean milk production. So that becomes even better. So you can include a hygiene part, handling, milking systems, all those testing and all these what the other presenters said today. So that all can be combined together. What else you think? Any other idea? Disease forecast. Yeah, that is a standard one actually. So probably I would say that would come as a part of the other one, because if you don't address the health of the animals, then the milk production will not come. So it can be an element to that. When you subdivide it, you can include that, which is a part of that. So what do you think about the other gentleman's presentation? What have you picked up from there? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Is it sustainable? Yeah, that's okay. I'll tell you this. So when I did my master's in veterinary public health in Glasgow, organic farming was one of my specialized areas. I have even wrote a paper about organic farming, and the title of that paper was, "Is organic farming sustainable? Or can it feed the hungry world?" So what happens, his scenario is different. Okay, his scenario is different because he has collected the cows, selected the cows, and then fed them well, managed them well, and those cows performed better. That's a very, very good positive model. That works in India when the average is very low. Because the production of average cow is 1,500 liters or so. So that works in this situation. But in our world, in the UK or America, when you have, let's say the average production of a cow is 10,000 kilos, when it becomes organic farming, there is no intensive management, cows are fed naturally, there is no such treatment, so the productivity goes down. Okay, so what we say, the productivity of an organic farm is only 20% of the normal. So that means, not Indian situation. He says a very success story, but I'm talking in a Western situation. So if you want to make the same amount of milk or same amount of crop, you need 5 times more land. You need everything 5 times. So that is a challenge. So like somebody said, it is a niche market. You can go to some niche people, they can afford to pay. Because when I produce only 20%, my efficiency is only 20%. So I have to sell 80% more price. So that is a challenge. So organic farming, I would not put that big word because it's not really not definable Indian situation. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so what is the other recommendation you want to put it to the government?
You can write that.
So, yeah, good question. So it is possible by selection of good animals and then using superior bulls. Yeah, so then it comes with either I don't know, nobody knows what bull we are selling in Kerala is good or bad. They only say this is a bull and this is a dam sealed. There is no evidence. Even that number may not be, we don't know. So you need to have accurate information about the bulls. Cows, you know, you can because you know how much he is producing. So that is visible, that is phenotypic. But you need to have superior bull. That is the main way to do it. And of course, you need to use sex ordered semen, so you multiply females. So we have only a few minutes to go, so we can talk continuously. But so what is the recommendation you want to give? Any other ideas? Oh, you have already wrote down? Yeah, say somebody read something. Okay. Oh, you want to collect them? Yeah, I have to collect. Okay, then give it back to him. If you want to discuss any particular idea, I'm happy to. So I think I already have one idea as milk sustainability in so many years. I don't know how many years is that. So you have to decide. And even I'm just telling you, even after this session, when you come up with the ideas, and if you want to ask me, I'm okay. I can help you on that. Okay. വേറൊന്നോട് പറയാം, there is no wrong recommendation. You can write whatever you think. Feel free, because we will screen anyway in the end.